So this is my final meeting as starting off as chairman anyway, and I'd just like to say thank you very much to fellow councillors for all the support that you've given me over the past year, and hopefully we've moved things on from where we were when I started. The first order of business for tonight is election of chair, and may I have nominations for the post of chair?
I'd like to nominate Jean Reid.
Would you have a seconder for that, please? Anybody got any other nominations? So, councillors have one vote only, but we don't really need to vote because we haven't got any other nominations.
You still need to vote.
Do you think we do? Apparently we need to vote. All those in favour of Jean Reid as chair, please raise your hand.
Against? Do you want to do it?
It's a bit unfair.
Anybody against? No, there wasn't anybody against. So, we now move on to the second item, which is the appointment of vice chair. May I have nominations for vice chair, please? Well, I'm going to nominate Steve. Who's seconded?
I'll second that.
Thank you.
So, sir.
Any other nominations?
Do we have to ask if you want it?
Okay. So we take a vote on Steve as vice chair, please. Thank you. I now vacate the chair.
What happens if Steve doesn't want it?
Do you want it?
You know where you want.
When the music starts.
Hello, Mr. Holmes.
Yeah. Gives you a different perspective.
What's that? Which takes us to the next bit. Shall I just...
Yep, yeah.
I've I've had delivery of the declaration of acceptance of office from Steve Draycott as Vice Chair. We don't have Councillor Reid present, so is it your wish that I should receive delivery of her acceptance of office before the next meeting? The answer is yes.
There isn't really a choice.
Thank you.
Does she know?
What happens if he turns it down though?
Okay. 592.
Yeah, plenty of announcements
No, okay. My announcements for this evening. First of all, I'd like to thank Gil for being chair for the past year, and I'm sure there is no longer chair. We're working just as hard for the benefit of Desborough in the future months and years. And I'd also like to welcome Joe to the Joe Watson to the council, replacing poor old Eamon Gilby, who's not all that well at the moment, but we wish him well. And I'm sure Joe will give a valuable contribution to the meetings in future. Okay, thank you. Right, the announcements. First of all, as the usual, fire exits. Fire exits are over there and where we came in. If the fire alarm does go off, please leave in an orderly fashion. If it goes off and there's a fire, just run. Can everybody switch off mobiles? Apart from Matthew, I don't know what he's doing. Okay, the announcements as follows. Desborough and Rothwell branches of the Royal British Legion are holding a street party with crafts and stalls on Sunday 9th of June at 2 p.m. All are welcome, but if you want to have a place at the street party table, tickets can be purchased from Magpies on Station Road. Also, Desborough Women's section of the Royal British Legion are holding their annual fashion show. That's on Wednesday 26th of June at the Ritz, 7:30. Tickets are £5 and can be purchased from the Ritz, DT shop, or Linda and Jean. And the Armed Forces Day, and I've not got the when that date is.
Same date.
It's the same day, sorry, and that's at the Indoor Bowls Club. For further information, please ask Linda or Jean again. Mount Si Academy and friends of Mount Si would like to thank everyone who came to the Spring Fair in March. Nearly £400 was raised for the school, and it's very much appreciated. Hopefully, we'll be holding a Christmas fair, so watch this space. Outgoing Chair Gill attended the Desborough Town Football Club Awards evening and was delighted to present 3 Honoured Citizens Awards. We'll get to that a little later. More details will be discussed here. Several drains along Rushton Road and Station Road have now been unblocked after posting details on Street Doctor / Fix Me Street. And benches from outside the car park on High Street have been taken away for refurbishment and will be back again very soon. And all help for setting up and breakdown of the carnival on Saturday 29th of June, along with marshalling and staffing of stalls, is gratefully received. Please contact Sam Tompkins for details, or through Councillor Holmes, who can put forward information on it. Okay.
Or Councillor Watson, actually.
Or Councillor Marshall. And the item 5/19, does the council note the apologies?
Apology from Councillor Reid.
Just Councillor Reid. Yep. Right. And item 6/19 is, do any councillors have anything to declare? No? Nope. Item 7/19, I think that's over to you, Graham, is it?
I've received no request for dispensations.
Right. Item 8/19 is the minutes have been circulated. This is April minutes. The minutes have been circulated. Does the council approve the minutes?
Can I raise a point, please?
Yeah, sure.
There's a slight error. 282/18, first paragraph, last 2 words, Rothwell Road, which should be Pioneer Avenue.
Right. We've got the minutes of that. All right.
Does everybody agree with that?
Does everybody agree with that?
Yeah.
Is it Rothwell Road? Oh yeah, I think that's right, isn't it? Pioneer, that's where the problem is, isn't it?
Got the first page, go. Yeah, first slide. Right on top.
Okay.
Pioneer. Sorry about that.
Okay, thank you.
Get them signed afterwards.
Item 9/19, is that you, Graham?
Yes, we've had one request.
One request to speak. Right.
Selling cars from highway and lorry movements.
Yeah.
The first item I'm raising is on behalf of my next door neighbour, Mr. Payne. Unfortunately, he's on holiday. He has a question. Is it permissible for somebody to sell cars from the side of the road and make a habit of it?
Well, I thought no.
Okay, in which case Mr. Payne will make a representation of the council to see if we can get it open.
It's not a matter for us, I don't think. It's through the chair.
Isn't it?
It's for Kettle Borough, isn't it? Are they advertising?
KBC. KBC.
Okay, I can address that.
So
Right,
through the
I borrowed
chair,
a dog
Morris.
this morning and took it for a walk up Rothwell Road, They started work on the site up there, and I got talking to a lorry driver who was quite lucid. He was explaining to me that a lot of that soil that's already been scraped into a big pile is destined for Bushton Road. Unfortunately, the lorry was unmarked, so I can't say who they were.
Number plates.
Sorry?
Get the number plate.
Number plate. Yeah, okay, I'll take a look at them. See what plate. Okay.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Okay, number 10, item 10/19 is the note of grant of the Honoured Citizens Awards. It says, in accordance with the council policy, nominations are received from individuals who made a significantly positive contribution to the communities in the Desborough Council area. The Awards Advisory Working Party met and recommended that awards be made in accordance with the policy of the town clerk, in consultation with the chair of the council, approve the awards. And I'll just read out the citation. Is a chap here? I don't suppose he is he? Alvin? I don't suppose he's here, is he? No. In recognition of his outstanding care and consideration, this is given to Alvin Jarvis of Leicester Nirvana at the football team, I assume, at the match with Desborough Town FC following an horrific injury to a player. Your efforts were beyond anything which could have been expected, and the council wishes to place on record its sincere appreciation. We value what you have done. Thank you very much. Awards in the form of framed certificates were presented at the annual awards ceremony of Desborough Town Football Club by the chair, Gill, to Anne Fraser, Kiri Palmer and Gary Melvin. Okay. And if anybody wants to nominate anybody for this award, you can get the form online and then drop it in.
Or from me.
Or from Graham. And drop it back into Graham. Okay, 11/19, is that over to you, Graham? Oh yeah, we've got representatives of groups who want to give a report. Northamptonshire Police, we always put down and there's nobody here anyway, so does anybody, do you want me to read these out?
If you just do the next one.
The next one is the Voluntary Rights of Way report circulated to Councillor Graham to read it.
Unfortunately, Bob couldn't be here tonight, but he sent this report and I've copied it to councillors, and if you wish, I'll read it so that everybody gets the gist. I'll read it as he's written it. I've been around the paths of Desborough over the past year and have only one path of concern in the Town Council's area, which is UC8, which has been reported over the years. Part of it is in Rushton Parish, where it is numbered GY11. This cuts across the site, is now covered in woodland. I have used it occasionally and it is difficult to follow because of this. The County Council ignored my advice to just leave a ride through it, and so we have this path that cannot be used. This was replanted out some 30 years ago, so I will report it to the NCC to remind them. The paths that lead across from Federation Avenue, UC2 leading to UC10, that go to Thorpe Underwood and New Bottle Bridge have been cleared, as the law requires, without being reminded, which is a happy conclusion after many years reporting to the NCC Rights of Way Department that they are difficult to get through. On the byway, known as Straight Furlong, I had to press the Rights of Way Department to link Bridge Road to the above-mentioned way, UC11, as it was very boggy in the winter. This was done after a number of messages to and fro. Through the past year, I have only had to clear some minor overhanging bushes, so all seems well after a few years of agitating. Bob Martin, Path Warden for Desborough.
Bob?
Excuse me, Grant, can we send in a letter of thanks from the council for all the community lot? He does do a lot of work.
Would you want me to read this?
So just say, yeah.
I'll carry on reading them. Next one is Volunteer Road Safety and CCTV Warden. That's Rick. Anything to say,
Yeah, I've
Rick?
got nothing further to add than the email that I sent you a couple of weeks ago, but we've got a major topic later on in the agenda anyway, haven't we?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I just add on the absence of the police, I gave to Gil a copy of the Neighbourhood Watch crimes, which he should have a list of.
There's been a few thefts of number plates again.
Is there any?
The crimes on the Neighbourhood Watch list between the 12th of April and the 8th of May, burglary, criminal damage, theft, theft from motor vehicle and theft from motor vehicle. So six crimes in that almost month period.
Six reported crimes. And it's nothing from Kettering Borough Council.
I have a report from, not from the council laws, but from Kettering Borough Council, if I might.
Right.
If you allow me. It's
Selected
an
me.
email addressed to me. I'll read it as it's written. It's from Martin Hammond, Executive Director. You will by now no doubt have seen the news coverage of the Secretary of State's decision to move forward with the creation of unitary councils for North and West Northamptonshire, but with effect from April 2021 rather than 2020 as originally proposed. Although the government still have to embed these changes in a structural change order, which has to receive parliamentary consent, we now understand that the following is intended in relation to elections to the new authority and to all town and parish councils. Existing district councillors will remain in role until April 2021, so for a further year than currently, and for 2 years longer than the normal term of 4 years. In May 2020, there will be elections to the shadow councils, and these elected councillors will then transition in May 2021 to the new councils. They will serve 4 years as councillors on the new unitary authority until 2025, as well as the year in shadow form from 20 to 21. Parish and town council elections will take place in May 2020, and those councillors elected will serve until 2025, so a 5-year term rather than a 4-year term. After 2025, the unitary and town and parish councils will revert to a 4-year cycle. We will continue to keep you abreast of developments as they emerge.
Lovely.
Yeah, seems okay.
6 years.
And the next one is Northamptonshire County Council. I suppose note from the county.
There isn't a
council.
report there.
No report.
I had an email from the county councillor today relating to the footpath, the yellow lines at, I want to say Pioneer. Yeah. Rothwell Road, as I retitle it. It's just round the corner. And we'll be following that up after the meeting with a view to hopefully sorting something out to bring to the next meeting.
I have had a report, correspondence with Alan Matthews, the county councillor. It looks as if, well, after a year of trying, that the main street, Station Road will be closed off, hopefully quite soon, and the zebra crossing will be repainted, which I've been complaining about for the last year. Also, the roundabout at the top of the road is going to be redone. I have it back with the question now, what are you going to do about Dunkirk Avenue, with all the holes in the road, etc., etc. And I'm awaiting a response at the minute. But I'll be quite honest with you, he hasn't got back to me on this. But he hasn't given us any dates, but apparently that's a plan of action to do up the roundabout near the co-op as well as a zebra crossing in Station Road, which, to be quite honest, nobody can see now. But he didn't get back to me on it, so hopefully we're going to get some movement there.
Okay, thank you. Next one is Citizens Advice Services, and there's a report being circulated to councils, and Graham is going to read
I'll
it.
read
Or the gist of it?
I'll read the gist of it. This report is following the grant that the council gave them, the Citizens Advice Services Corby and Kettering last year. We've visited 12 Desborough residents this quarter with issues relating to both benefits, debt and energy related issues and completion of disability forms. Of these, 6 have received repeat visits. This equates to a total of 23 home visits so far for the 6-month period, which is just above the target for the first half. As previously, we are still awaiting some outcomes from disability applications, as these can take up to 12 months on some occasions, but with the clients seen so far, we've assisted in claiming £34,511 to date in additional benefit income, which is not disability related, and dealt with a total of £38,413 in debt owed. The clients visited all required help and support in the areas of benefits, disability claims and debt, and we also found that other help was needed in certain cases. This included completing financial health checks, which also includes advice on finding the best deal for energy payments. We work with our clients holistically, ensuring that all issues are identified and that appropriate advice and support is given in all areas. The home visiting service is continuing to be popular as we envisaged, and clients have been really appreciative of us being able to visit them in their homes. The full report will be on the website.
Next one is Desborough Men's Shed. Anybody here in that? No? Desborough in Bloom. Desborough Civic Society. Desborough Town Centre Partnership. Desborough and Rothwell Youth Council.
Received anything?
No.
They didn't meet last month.
Rothwell North Working Party.
Yeah. Just the fact that we're still fighting to get things changed. We've sent a letter to the head of Kettering Borough, Councillor Roberts, asking for things to be revisited. Again, look at it because it's so outdated, the plans.
Yeah.
Obviously, people perhaps have seen as well that they've got lorries and they're digging and all sorts up there. Apparently, this is just excavational work, if that's such a word. But
Architectural,
that's the word. Digging the holes for themselves. Edit that. Yeah, no, it's we are on top of it. We keeping lines open with Martin Hammond at Kettering Borough, and that's all we can do at the moment. Just keep pushing and pushing. At the moment, things still aren't finalised, so they can't start building houses. They're only limited to what they can do, but it's they're obviously jumping the gun. But hopefully things will change until we get response. Yeah, Rick.
Can I just clarify? A teeny technical point.
Yeah.
It is, of course, in English planning law, permissible for somebody to start work on a development and even complete a development without permission. It's at their own risk, and the reinstatement, in this instance, the reinstatement could be extraordinarily expensive, but it is not. It is possible that people do that. People do work without having permission. So it's that.
I think the thing is that we're right is they haven't said they're doing that. They've said they're doing something else, but we believe it.
There have been cases where people have been made to redo houses.
Yeah.
Hidden behind hay bales.
I feel sorry.
Not on that specific subject, but while we're on reports, am I okay to say? Borough Councillors, I had the great privilege of go to the annual borough meeting where Kelly Watts was appointed as mayor. 2 of our councillors were present and 2 were absent. Now, it may be that there are health issues, and for that we should have every sympathy. But I have to say, we're in a time of great change across this county, and key decisions are being made now. I think it's absolutely essential that this community, Desborough, has a seat at that table and a voice in that room. And if we have representatives who are prevented from doing their job for health reasons, I will say it publicly, though there may only be 1 year to go, they and resign now. And I want a minute in that. I think it's a disgrace.
Who's he talking about? Kettering Borough Council?
Yeah. About
Yeah,
or,
that's
yeah.
simple.
Sorry, Rick was going to say something.
Yeah, through you, Chair. I just want to clarify the previous point. We were talking about the digs at Rothwell North. We've had an email from Martin Hammond to say that work has been approved by Kettering Borough Council, and it is the architectural dig, which is purely to check that there's no interesting architectural stuff from the past that is there before we start the main. Archaeology, yes, archaeology, sorry. Yeah, so that has actually been approved, what they're doing at the moment.
Are they doing the whole side? A renewed.
Okay, next one is nobody else wants to speak. Rothwell North Working Party. We've just done that. Desborough District Twinning Association. No? No?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're still going. We're still going to Europe, and they're still coming back to us as well. We have 20 people going out to the Netherlands, actually the Netherlands in June, with our new twinning partners, really, aren't they? Yeah, we have some lovely new twinning partners. We have the French coming in July, last week of July, and into August. We have the Charter, which is part of Desborough Town Association do. We've got people going out to Estonia in July as well. So we are alive and well in Europe, and Europe is alive and well in Desborough.
Okay, then that concludes the morning. Okay then. Okay, and the next item is 12/19 to consider making grants under the Community Grant Scheme. And this is in accordance with Community Grants awarding policy at the May and October meetings. Council considers applications for grants received from organisations. And the Council's budget is £15,000, of which so far none has been spent. The policy contains, amongst other provisions, any grant awarded is at the discretion of the Council and will not normally exceed £1,250. At the discretion of the Council, any organisation or group with permanent bar facilities in operation may be excluded, and grant applications cannot be made retrospectively. We've had 3 applications for the and a meeting of the awards panel was convened. The meeting was attended by councillors and community members, and the following recommendations were made. And we're on now 12.1/19. A request was made, this is for the Desborough Scout Group, a request was made for £2,000 out of a total of 9,346 for the refurbishment and extension of external storage facility at the Desborough Community Centre. Funds have been raised from other sources to supplement the grant request. Without a grant from the council or with a smaller grant, further fundraising would be undertaken. And the advisory panel recommended a grant of £2,000. This is an exception. We did say earlier that 1,250 is the maximum, but on this occasion we thought £2,000 was okay. And the council is requested to determine whether any award should be made, and if so, to determine the amount. So, is everybody happy with that?
Yeah.
Good.
£2,000, yeah.
£2,000, yeah. And the second one, 12.2/19, is Desborough Town Bowling Club. Their request was for £975 out of a total of £1,480 to recarpet the general area of the clubhouse and upgrade security gates.
New security gates.
New security gates, is it? Yeah, that's right. security work has already taken place and the facility has a bar. Funds have not been raised from other sources. Without a grant from the council, the work would proceed, and with a smaller grant, fundraising would be undertaken. Obviously, because they've got a bar, the advisory awards panel recommended that no grant be made.
Some of the work has already been undertaken,
And some of the work's already been
which
undertaken.
isn't eligible.
No, okay then. So the council is requested to determine whether any award should be made, and if so, to determine the amount. So are we
I'll say
agreeing?
975.
You say 975?
No, I don't think they should get it.
I don't think, because we did say if they have a bar, that is.
That's advisory.
But they are a business and they run a business and they do.
Yeah,
Surely if they started the work, this money's retrospective, isn't it?
that's what, yeah.
You can't do it
No, that's what we just said, you can't do it.
Red jump and go.
Sorry, Joe?
It does say that the security work has been done, not recarpeting the general area of the clubhouse. My only thoughts is I agree there's a bar, which always sets me against it a little because that is there. Therefore, it's a business. However, this is just me being a bit liberal, I suppose. The funding we've agreed is for the youth, and not meaning to be ageist or anything, but let's be honest, most people that go to bowling club are not youth, they're older. I am very interested to know what goes on at the bowling club because I don't know whether anyone here is a member. If anyone here has been in it.
Yeah.
Well,
I did.
it's the outside one.
Yeah, it's the outside one. Used to be a member.
And they do have quite a good youth element there. They have some, I believe, the time days going, some of the youngsters were quite high up in the national.
They do have someone who represents England.
They do.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
I would, my heart is saying to give them a smaller grant, just to register an interest in the fact that they are part of our community. However, I would like somebody to approach them, the grant, to ask them to become part of the community because so many in the community don't know what goes on there. Well,
Some people don't even know it's there.
that's it. And this is it, if they are part of our community, aren't they? And grants have been made previously.
Through the chair.
Sorry.
When Ash came over last time, we went into the Bowls Club because they had an open morning for a taster session for anyone that wanted to walk in off the street. The two lads that I took in there from Ash, our visitors from Europe, were the only two that went in there on that morning.
And that's it. How is the?
I mean, it was open, it was offered.
I don't.
Was it well advertised though?
Who knows?
That's it, and that's it.
Yeah.
Would it be possible to give a small grant? However, we need to ask them to become part of the community.
I think they've already, I'll be honest with you, Joe, I know for a fact that the previous council supplied them with money to buy the kids
No, that was the indoor.
it's the same thing, isn't it?
No.
Well,
It wasn't.
the same one I've learned about it. But, yeah, I know they've got a grant for the kids' clothes and that before, shirts.
So what would you like to do? Do you want to defer this till the next meeting?
Yeah, defer it.
Yeah.
Defer it till the next meeting, and then we'll perhaps discuss it in the meantime before that. Okay, so we'll defer that till the June meeting.
And I'll get some more information.
Yeah, okay, fine, thanks.
Can we not make an approach to actually meet with them and see what they would
Yeah,
like come
yeah,
involved?
we could do, yeah.
I was going to make a suggestion. If you're going to ask for money, send a newsletter in or a representative in here so we know what you are about.
Yes, yeah,
Don't just ask for money and don't turn up.
good idea, yeah. So So somebody could actually go in and So if anybody's willing to go in and have a word with them and ask them if they, like you say, if they want some money, come into the next meeting. Yeah, okay. And the last one, so we're going to defer that. The last one is, sorry?
I think Simon has it.
Sorry, Simon.
I was just going to say, actually, just moving on a little bit from making an approach to get some information, why don't we do exactly that? Ask them to come in and give us a presentation.
Every group.
Yeah.
You're here anyway. You might get your money in it.
Put a quick PowerPoint together.
Tie in the youth council and things like that as well, with the youth aspect of it. So ask them to come in and do a presentation.
Yeah, that's fine.
Steve.
Sorry?
Phil? I mean, we hear that they encourage the youth, that they've got a good youth team and they have open days, and yet there seems to be a bit of a disconnect. I mean, it is a public facility and they should, I think, at all times have one rink available for the public to hire, but it kind of looks like a private club almost, and the perception is, there's a perception in the town that it's probably not as open and welcoming and community involved as it probably could be. We might be completely wrong. That's probably a completely false impression, given what we've heard, and they probably are trying to open up the doors and encourage people in, and so I think if we were to meet with them, let's kind of clear the air on that and see just what they are doing in terms of community use, community involvement, encouragement of young players. They may be doing a lot more than any of us know, but the general perception, and I can go back 30 years, is that the one day in the year they could open up and say hello to everybody on Carnival Day. They put big sheets around so you can't see who's in there. There's a sort of closed shop feeling, which may be wrong, but if we meet with them, we can.
It worked. This worked at Medmore many years ago, and I plead guilty. I was with a bunch of motorbike lads on a Sunday night, and all the churchgoers came out of church and proceeded to the bowling green, which was outside the Horse and Trumpet pub, and we were laughing. I'm ashamed to say. The little old lady came up and said, "If you can do any bloody better, you come and do it." And she frog marched us in. My God, we had a laugh, and it became a bit of a regular thing once a year. The bikes pulled in, we had a game of bowls with the old folks, and off we went. And we were 17, 18, 19, 20. But of course, the Horse and Trumpet's gone, and the bowling pit's still there. The young will,
I think it's no longer an old man's, always perceived as an old man's sport, but it's no longer like that.
No.
Our son used to go actually thinking that, didn't he? Friday nights, have kids bowls down there, thinking back 3 years ago he did, I don't know whether it's changed since then.
Okay.
Chair, do we do the same with the Scouts, or are we past that? Get them in to explain as well.
We could do, yeah.
It just seems a bit discriminatory that we're saying one group
we could
hasn't
ask the
turned up,
Scouts
give them another
come in,
one has, and we're not going to.
Yeah, we could ask a representative of the Scouts to come in if they want £2,000. Why not?
Yeah, I think so.
It is a condition of grant funding that a report is received. But that's
if
what
we're
the money's
saying
been
now
used
we're
for.
getting the bowling club in before we give them a beat, but we said we give them two matches to Scouts who haven't turned up.
But the bowling club has already got the bar,
Yeah. I think we
and
need to
they've already
do
bought some of the purchases, some of the things.
Well, hopefully,
we need consistency.
Chair, hopefully all these groups will turn up at the annual town meeting and give their reports of what they do for the community, and then we can see. Because that's their ideal opportunity, isn't it?
That's very true, yeah.
Let's defer the other two, and then Matthew's obviously here. Should we film you now, Matthew?
Feel free.
The next item, sorry, somebody else, sorry, the lady there.
Can I just say one thing on Forza Bolster? I agree they should be here and they should come and make a presentation, but they do have special regular days for disabled players, and they have specialist equipment forms so that anybody can play Bolster.
You hear that?
That's good, yeah. Phil, sorry.
I would be concerned if everyone that applies for a grant has to turn up sort of begging mole at the meeting. I think it's quite reasonable if we're happy with the grant to approve it and defer one that, I mean, at the moment, the recommendation no grant be made. I think we're softening that, and the deferment for further communication or interaction, I think that's a perfectly reasonable thing to do. But if we start insisting with consistency that everybody who wants a grant in this council has to sort of cap in hand, I'm not entirely sure that that's, you know, the best way to do it. There's just, there are specific concerns here, and you know that they can get the money from other sources. Some of it's already taken place. They do have a bar, so they've got some receipts, and I just think it's reasonable to defer this one for further investigation or communication. I don't see we need to defer the lot.
My personal feeling is consistency. Otherwise we're applying different standards to different groups.
Well, you are with the bar. You are with the bar. Because if you allow one with the bar, you open it up again.
We haven't got a bar at the parkway.
Well, we're not deferring the scale pool, are we? No, that's been recommended.
I thought we were. I thought we'd agreed to defer it to get them as well.
You suggested it, Councillor, but it hasn't been agreed.
No. Okay.
John, what were you saying?
Can we move
down the
on?
bottom.
12.3/19 is the Desborough Green Space Junior Park Run, a branch of Park Run Limited, and they are a company within the charity, so that makes it acceptable. The request was for £1,700 out of a total of £2,000 for the purchase of a defibrillator and additional first aid kits for volunteers, storage, walkie-talkies and additional equipment.
Don't delay, get the defibrillator.
Funds have not been raised from other sources, but discounts have been obtained. Without a grant from the council, the activities would continue, but with borrowed equipment, relying on volunteers' own devices and the defibrillator from the leisure centre. The advisory panel has recommended a grant of £1,700, which is again exception from the normal £1,250, and the council is requested to determine whether any award should be made or to determine the amount. So anybody got any questions on that?
I'm for it.
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Improving, and I think the park run has been really successful. Looking at the numbers of children that have actually attended on the park run each Sunday or following.
Yeah, we've been blown away by the numbers of kids, the number of volunteers, by the number of adults who are running with the kids. So last weekend we had 60 adults running with those children over the 2K. A majority are probably not run 2K in years. So it's good to see the adults getting involved as well with that, improving their fitness. We need a lead pacemaker, Bill. So.
Bill can carry the defibrillator.
So, on this note, just health and safety bit, the leisure centre defib, if ever you need it, don't rely on it to be working. The first time we went along, it wasn't charged. The defib pads run out this weekend, and we're not confident they will be redone by next week.
Who is
So,
supposed to do that then?
it's up to the leisure centre forward there for Parkwood, to part of the leisure centre. So thank you for the grant to get our own, because we're not confident that theirs will always be in working order. But we're chasing them to get it always in working order. Yeah.
Okay, pretty happy?
Yes.
Okay, move on to 13/19, and that's the annual town meeting. It should have been held on the 23rd of this month, but of course with the European elections, we've now holding it over to the following week on the 30th of May. Okay, where are we now? all of this? I don't think there's no need for this, is there?
Nope.
No, okay. Moving on to 14/19, that's to consider the appointment of representatives to outside bodies. The appendix shows the current situation with council representation on outside bodies. Can we ask the town clerk to ask for more information about the intended role of council representatives, Desborough Civic Society and the ambitions of Desborough Town Centre Partnership, if they still want council representation? Okay, so
Is that agreed?
is that okay?
I think it's not necessary. Yep.
Yeah. So that was
Takes you down to Youth Council.
Desmond Rothwell Youth Council. Previously Claire and Bill were attending. Do the council wish to have representation? If so, who?
Sorry, who was that?
Sorry?
Claire and...
Claire and Bill. Oh, sorry, yeah, Bill Mack. Yeah.
Same?
Yeah, Desborough Pocket Park Committee. Joe Taylor and Claire were previously representing the council. Does the council wish to have representation, and if so, who? Same.
Well, I would just like to say I do find it quite difficult because the meetings are in the daytime when I've got minded children, so I haven't really been able to get to things that I would like to be able to.
So would you like somebody to take
So
the place?
if somebody else could do it, that would...
Is anybody willing to volunteer to take Claire's place?
It is hard because they have meetings about 10 o'clock in the morning.
I could do that.
Bill?
Yeah.
So it's Joe and Bill.
Get ready for your waders.
I'll have to come with cars.
The next one is Desborough Town Lands and Lokes Charity. This meets once a year. The next meeting is 2 days before the date of the next election, and it may therefore not be possible for a councillor to attend. Does the council wish to have representation, and if so, who?
Who's on it?
Nobody.
No, no at the moment.
Stupid question, what do they do?
Well, they own a field. And apparently a farmer pays rent, and then they, what they get from the rent, they donate to charity.
How much do they get?
I've got no idea.
Somewhere in the order of £700 or £800 a year, I think.
I don't think you need to.
Yeah, I'm not wasting my time.
Go and stand and look at it now.
Steve, you can volunteer the chair, because you're not chair, are you?
The next one is Landrat. Landrat, that's the Leicester and Northants Rail Action Committee. I think you're on that, aren't you, Phil? Are you on that, the Landrat?
No, he's interested.
No, I never have been. I'm glad it's still around, though it may not be. It ticks along, and I think we should have someone there when they do meet.
Oh,
Bill,
well,
I'm
nominate
like
you,
Bill,
Phil.
You didn't step back quick enough, Phil.
Well, no, yeah, let's go for it. We always say we want a station in Desborough. We've never given up since BC closed the last one.
We'll look out for your petition then.
Go on, go on. Oh, yeah.
Okay then. Rothwell North Working Party, the previous meetings have been attended by Linda and Irene. Does the council wish to have representation, and if so, who?
I think we should rep the council on the meetings.
Same again?
Yeah.
Same again.
Same again, Linda and Irene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Desborough Community Speed Watch. There are no representatives at the moment. The council merely assents to the speed watch operating in the area. there is nothing to decide here.
It's Rick, isn't it?
It's not.
It's not.
This is the,
Captain Tune
this
now.
is the speeding people with the high-vis jackets and hair dryers and stuff. There's a technical version for that.
On to 15/19. This is to consider and if so resolved to appoint to committees, advisory panels and areas of responsibility. So does everybody agree to reappoint Bob and Rick?
Yep.
Who do really great work for us.
Yep.
Okay.
Can I just, Chair, can I just add, the title is slightly misleading. Could it
I've got
you've got
volunteer road safety and CCTV warden.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Change on this one.
Okay, and the awards advisory panel was councillors Archer, Reid and Taylor, and the community members were Mrs McAninny,
Yeah.
Mrs Watson and Mr Burney. I don't know who that is.
Wasn't the idea to be 3 and 3?
That's 3, 1, 2.
We've now got 4 and 2.
We've got 4 and 2 because obviously Joe's a councillor, so we could do with some volunteers from the public if they'd like to join the awards advisory panel. If anybody would like to.
Simon will stand again, but she's not here to.
It's very worthwhile to be on it.
Steve, can I just suggest though that should be 3 of each, but actually only 2 councillors were there on the day. So if we could have 4, and then if one person can't come, another one can step in.
Right, that's a fair idea, Joe. So if we had it 4 and 4. And,
Who could that be?
Well, we've actually got the 4 because we've got
Mrs Watson's
councillor.
changed sides.
Councillor, yeah. She's
That's the line.
She's crossed the floor.
You're moving up, Adam. Up on the
Yeah.
paper.
Councillor Watson has crossed the floor to be a councillor. So we'd still like 2 volunteers from the community. If anybody, nobody here wants it, if anybody knows anybody who might like to join it. So it's very worthwhile to be on it. You get free biscuits.
Oh, come on, Mark, I'll start charging free biscuits.
I'm trying to lose weight now, so
We didn't get it.
I'll ask some of my colleagues in the childminding.
Yeah.
They might be interested in something.
Yeah.
So,
Put it on the website.
Yeah, put it on the website.
so are you appointing or reappointing
Yeah, so-
Mrs McElhenney and Mr Burney? And then
Yeah, I've got no idea who Mr Burney is.
He turned up on for 10 minutes and then went to play poker, didn't he?
Or
That's a lot.
Is the youth council still active? Could it be member of the youth council
members until the
on the
next
20th of you meet during the
we could
daytime?
defer,
fill the council seats and make the others
yeah. Okay.
We need to look at these.
So can I just have on advice of Graham, we're going to keep the councillors, the 4 councillors who we've got there, 3 plus Joe, and the community members we're going to defer to the next meeting. So if anybody would like to look around and see if anybody would be interested, they're quite welcome. Okay. And the next one is the Community Grants Advisory Panel. And at the moment we've got myself, Irene James, Councillor Reid and Joe Taylor. And at the moment we have got 6 community members. So I suppose we'd like to reduce that to 4, would we?
I was hoping for 3, but if you want to be
So
consistent.
I think what Joe said is possibly a good idea because I couldn't make the last meeting myself. So
Make that 4 and 4 as well.
yeah. So we've got again Mrs Campbell, Mrs Hussain, Mrs Melt, Mrs Taylor, Mr Dixon and Mr Martin. So again, would you like to defer that to the next meeting? For community 4 community members.
Could we ask those that are here tonight? say
Is there
they'd like to
any of
continue?
these ladies or gentlemen here tonight?
I'm here.
Mr. Dixon,
Sorry? So you'd like to be on it, would you, Mr. Dixon?
Already on it.
Sorry?
Dixon.
Yeah. So you'd like to continue, right? And you would, Miranda?
Yeah, I'm happy to continue.
So we've got 2, so we need another, once again, we need another 2,
Steve.
2 members from the community. Yes, and so we need your contact details before you leave. To Graham. Phil, sorry.
I have some concerns that we ask people to come forward in the community and then chuck 2 of them off. I hear what you're saying about 4 and 4. Ask them if they're willing to carry on. I mean,
yes.
It may be that, you know, that they're not able to do it any longer, but I'm a little uneasy that we want community involvement, we want members of the public to come along. It's important that the committee that to be able.
Yeah, I think it's only courtesy to ask them if they want to continue. So
I think we would be best to ask them first, or else you're going to sort of dump 2 people.
They might want. They might want to move to the honorary citizen one.
On the flip side,
Sorry?
They might want to move to the honorary citizen if you're looking for places.
Yeah.
telling somebody they are going to continue, and if they haven't said that, yeah, they voted said they haven't said they will, you know, you can't just say, oh, you're on the committee. You know, ask them.
Ask them their position.
I'm sure that you'll be able to get Mrs. McElhinney's details from somewhere.
Steve, could I just add that at the last community grants one, even though there's supposed to be 10 of us, there was only 5 of us. So, you know, if you're doing it down to 3 people and 3 people, it's not always good for everybody to meet. So only 5 could make it last time.
Yeah, that could be a problem, yeah. That's very true, yeah.
So we're reappointing the 4 councillors and
Yeah, all the councillors who are on here, they'll be reappointed. With say Joe becoming a councillor of the community, and we've got 4. Sorry.
she wasn't on it.
No. No. Oh, sorry. This is the community grant one. Yeah. Yeah. So we've got the 4 existing councillors, and we're still looking for 2 other people. Unless, as Phil said, we can ask them if they want to continue on it.
I can ask you if you want to continue.
Yeah. Okay, so Graham will ask them if they want to continue to be on the committee. Personnel committee, that's councillors only.
3, please.
Sorry?
3, please.
We need 3 councillors. And have we've got the 3 councillors, I believe, haven't we? No?
What is that one then?
Probably Jean, me.
Jean.
We're going to put Jean down for this.
I'm going to put Jean down. She's very sharp.
That's 2. Jean and Bill. And Phil. And we first met.
You were right.
I thought it was.
It was.
I've got a
I'm
note
sure
of that somewhere.
That's what it was the first time we met. And we only need to meet if we get shot at Graham anyway, don't we? You really want that committee?
Well, the independent.
How many people would you like to? Sorry.
The independent review councillors. Well, it was Councillor Burnham.
Yeah, we haven't got
We haven't got
Steve's trying to move us along.
Yeah, understandable. So. The council currently does not have a personnel committee and needs a personnel committee for the functions set out in the draft terms of reference that you'll come on to in a minute. Would you like to reappoint councillors who may well have been on a committee which had that function previously? I've got 2 names so far because I'm writing slowly. Who else we've got? I've got Jean and Bill Mack. Who else?
Bill, Phil, and
Lil.
Gil, wasn't it? It was Jean, Bill, Phil and Gil.
Yeah, that's it.
Phil?
Jean,
Phil, you up for it?
Jean, Bill, Phil,
Yeah,
Gil.
I'm quite happy. It's
Yeah.
got the area I used to work in.
So Jean, Bill,
Bill and Beck, down office.
Cuthbert's different.
Yeah.
Graham, you are going to let everybody know who's on what.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can we have a spreadsheet?
Just note, when you see Bill, Phil and Gil, you know you're not on it.
And if you see all four coming into your office,
Moving on, independent review councillors. A minimum of one to be named, but currently we have councillors Burnham, James and Sawford.
I'm quite happy to carry on. I
Are you
enjoy
all
doing
quite
that.
happy?
That's fine.
Is Phil okay with that?
Are you okay, Phil, with that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Are you losing count or what, how many years? Okay, the next one is financial account signatories. This is three councillors to countersign checks, and currently it's myself, Gil, and Bill. Responsible,
And me.
If we do anything else.
and
it's
obviously
Oh, yeah.
Graham.
Please don't change that one.
Yeah. No. And the Data Protection Officer, the council has previously appointed Northants County Association of Local Councillors, currently appointed until March 2020.
Obviously all right with that.
The council is recommended to consider the matter and if so, resolved to make appointments.
I think I've got them all now. I'll send you
Okay.
a list.
That's lovely. Right, 16/19 is to consider alterations to the council's standing orders, financial regulations, scheme of delegation, terms of reference and principal policies. And the policies have been reviewed and councillors have had the opportunity to look at the proposed amendments where there are any. Are there any questions? No?
With the caveat that of the two working parties where we've changed the numbers, got to be a corresponding change in the terms of reference for those two.
Right. Next item is 17/19, to consider options for CCTV in the town. We have a report on this which builds on the splendid work done by Rick. There are three questions. Firstly, if the scheme is right, would the council agree to increase the budget? Have you got anything to say on this, Rick?
That's your decision.
Right. Wait for a decision.
Yeah, I recommend that it be increased, as per my email, because the current allocation of 5,000 is really nothing in the whole scale of things. It would just cover one camera only. In my report, I recommended that you approach the Police Commissioner, who is offering grants at the moment of up to £10,000 for crime prevention work, so perhaps council could consider doing that. Bids have got to be in by the end of the month, by the 30th of May, I understand.
Is this grant for CCTV?
Well, it covers general crime prevention and things like that, so CCTV would be covered in it.
Right.
But the PCC is offering up to £10,000. I recommend that you bid for £10,000 and probably hope you might get 5,000 or something like that.
Okay.
And then it's up to you, of course, how much you want to permit from the precept. But my recommendation is that the current allocation of 5,000 is not really enough.
Okay. So I have to wait for the decision on that now.
Steve.
Sorry, yeah.
Given what Rick said, that 5,000 is pretty much a drop in the ocean, we've got to be conscious of cost. But if the Crime Commissioner has a little pot and we can kind of bid for 10,000, if we were to do that on a match funding basis, there's 10, we'll match it with 10, then that ups the ante in terms of the town council. I know this is from the precept, but if it pulls in double to the town for, crime and CCTV and crime and safeguard public, then could we consider that as an option? Because I think you might have a better chance on a matched basis, and it kind of doubles the amount in the budget that we have, but it's a sort of scrap to catch a mackerel really. If we can pull in the extra and then get, I think it's probably, as a tactic, it might be worth a try if the council could see their way to going with that.
Ooh. Certainly worth discussing.
One concern though is that they look at what we have in reserves, which is currently nearly £500,000.
It may all come to naught.
No, I agree. But that's just one concern I have. Is I look at our reserves and go, you've got plenty of money.
There's money in the pot, and if we can double it.
Oh yeah, let's get as much as we can. Yeah.
Depends whether they even ask about the.
fairly robust future-proof system there. Because if you look at reserves, as we're talking about reserves, and think about future-proofing the town as we go forward, if there's an option there to just go for it, should we not be collating a cost to just go for it and future-proof it?
Chair, the subcommittee that sat, we recommended 6 cameras to add to the current system. Now, on average, I think each camera is going to be £5,000 each. So you're looking at £30,000 for a start on what the advisory committee has already suggested.
But then what Simon says is that both Councillor Stroud says that that's future-proof. Yes, Simon said. Would that future-proof it?
Well, that, because you could always expand it every year, couldn't you, if you wanted to?
But it's going to see us through for.
Yes, it would. The subcommittee covered the points where we thought they would be best placed for a small system or a small expansion. So
it would
yes,
be difficult for people wanting to come to Desborough and commit crime to enter or leave Desborough.
We've got most of the major points covered. Yes, that's right.
At some point on a camera.
Yeah,
I would recommend we try and aim for those 6 points as an absolute minimum. And in future years, we might be able to think about expanding it a bit further.
For it.
I think it needs.
Would that then, sorry, Chair, would that then mean that each camera, from memory, you were saying something like £1,000 for the annual
Yes, that's right.
Camera.
Yes.
So 6 cameras, £30,000 to outlay, and then £6,000 a year.
You don't think about the rental.
The ongoing costs. Is that what you're saying?
There is the new system where digital cameras can be linked together by microwave links. So that could cut down the BT line rental costs in the future. And there is also, as Simon and I emailed each other the other day about having the new cameras as IP cameras, Internet Protocol cameras, where if you link them to the internet, then they can be monitored anywhere on any PC computer linked to the internet with the appropriate code words, of course.
Probably being optimistic here, but if there's
On your holiday on the beach.
Would that affect it?
I don't know. We'd have to speak to the technical man over that. At the moment, they are wire or fibre links. Whether they would, I'd imagine they probably would go through the 5G system, wouldn't they? But I don't know. Sorry.
I just kind of think if we agree to extend that budget and we were to make those funds available, if we were to then obtain outside funding from the commission's office or something, could that not then be used towards the running cost next year of it, because we would have already allocated some funds there?
I'm happy to vote for it.
I'm looking at Graham really for answers.
The question in front of you is, are you minded to increase the budget
Yes.
for a suitable system? And if you're minded to increase the budget, at this point it's not, in my view, necessary to specify the exact amount, because surely you determine what you need and then we look at how much it costs.
Yeah.
So are we going to do a vote on whether
Yeah.
we're minded to...
If you're minded to agree,
Yes.
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 And then we follow with the other two recommendations.
Yeah.
Yep. So we'll have the vote then if everybody's minded to agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
Enough. Just enough.
And are you minded to approach the PCC as well?
Yes, could do.
Good God, yes.
I'm not sure. Can the parish council apply to Kettering Council for the community grant scheme they have running? I don't know. They've got a community grant scheme.
I'd be shocked if they allowed us to.
It could be worth just looking at and seeing.
You probably find where it's true.
But do we have another
But it could
organisation?
well be that a community group could be formed which will allow us to access those grants, but without the council being the bidder.
On that note, the community grant ends at the end of the month for the application, so...
Figures just banded around a few minutes ago was 6 cameras. How much? 30 grand?
That's what the figure was.
How much are 6 cameras going to cost us?
Say five grand each.
Yeah, we don't know exactly yet because each installation is different, but on average I'm thinking about £5,000 for each camera. On top of that you need the BT link to transfer the information. So if you did approve 6 cameras as the subcommittee decided, then we would need £30,000 plus some for the transfer lines.
If we put that into perspective then, £30,000 is 1 copper. 6 cameras is a damn sight more effective than 1 copper.
Yeah, true.
Now, we have a lot of money in the precept. Use it. For the benefit of the people. It's too late, we paid for it in our rents or whatever. We're entitled to it. Let's have it. We can't have a copper. We have to fight to get a copper. Put 6 cameras up easily. As long as we've got money behind it.
But the debate at the budget meeting was Kettering Council should be providing.
So are we in mind
So something we
to,
change? What
form
changes?
A small working party as suggested. Somebody suggested a small working party. Was it you?
We've already had one. Yes, we've already got one.
This is to do this bit of work.
Oh, I see. We could. Are the same people on the previous party happy to continue?
Jean, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Jean on it.
Jean's on it.
Joe would like to
I'd
be
like to go on that one. Have you had any more contact with Kettering Borough Council regarding their
The only thing I know.
Wants to be on the committee as well.
Simon as well.
The only thing I know, Joe, was that the money that was previously thought of as being available was stopped. That was the money from Kettering Borough Council. This is the whole reason now why we're having this discussion. At the moment, I know of no money forthcoming from Kettering Borough Council at the moment.
But they're getting their state-of-the-art cameras in Kettering.
Yeah.
But we're not here. Yeah, that was the discussion at the budget meeting.
Plus, if the police come as well. Okay.
If council approves that, then I can get on to the technical man and ask him to give us some more accurate figures for each installation, if you're happy with that.
We'll have a meeting.
Roughly speculation. When we get to the next meeting, we'll probably vote for it.
Yeah.
We can't make any financial decisions now anyway.
No.
Okay. 18/19 is to confirm that the council meets the statutory criteria to exercise the general power of competence. The outstanding orders require this to be on the agenda, but the law requires confirmation only at the first meeting after an ordinary election, and that is next May. Can we note the situation? That's after the next election.
Are we competent?
I was going to say, I'm not competent, really.
Yeah.
19/19, it's the Office of Proper Officer, which is Graham, so we'd like a word.
The question here is, what happens when the proper officer isn't available? For whatever reason, the council previously, I think in May of last year, appointed the then administration assistant as deputy proper officer, which lasted for a very short space of time. But the council had been in a position where it was working without effectively a proper officer. And the question is, what do you do without, and is it necessary to have a fallback? I've taken quite some lengthy advice from a number of places, and if I can paraphrase what was said to me, in normal absences, holidays, short sickness, that kind of thing, it's probably extremely unlikely that anything's going to happen that needs the function of proper officer. That is distinct from town clerk, responsible financial officer, but it's the office of proper officer, which has certain definitions in law as to what that function is. And in the short term, in an absence, without a proper officer, you can get advice, you can get help from NCALP, from SLCC, and other organisations. In the longer term, you would have a meeting which would then appoint somebody, a locum, to fill in. So my suggestion is that, given that I'm not planning on being ill for an awful long time, or absent for any other reason, despite Bill trying to sack me on it, then it's probably not necessary to move into this and to find an alternative way. There are some alternatives. I have been investigating with other town clerks a sort of swap deal, and it would be helpful if I could get something, but there isn't anything formal. So in effect, if we could have a swap deal, I would offer the service to a council, and then they would offer the service to us, and we would swap over in absence. Sort of job share, but more sort of a free transfer on a temporary basis. Yeah. But at the moment, I think it's unlikely that it's necessary to fill that post as we stand, but I do think that we should be alive to the possibility of some sort of arrangement with other council clerks.
Yeah, cool. Next.
Okay. To receive and note the planning report. Does anybody have any comments to make on the report? Receive and note the report. This is Appendix C, I believe.
Just one note, is 8 Buttercup Road the one that was going to be turned into?
No, that's Thistle.
No, so I was Buttercup Road, wasn't it?
Thistle.
I always get them two mixed up, so I thought. I'll try around it a while. I thought it was that same one trying to turn it into.
Yeah, everybody okay with that?
Yeah, fine, thank you.
21/19, to note the consultation relating to the location of the new bench. This side of the bench has been going on and on.
Or benches.
Two benches.
Consultation is still ongoing.
Oh.
Residents that are nearby, so there will be final results at the next meeting in June.
Oh, he teased us.
We hope.
The location, it could be anywhere. It's probably mobile, put it on wheels.
Have you seen the public toilet up by the big roundabout up there? Yeah. There's one of the portaloos from Continent being just been dumped there. So,
22/19 is to
public
receive
toilet.
the finance report. The council is recommended to approve the report. This is Appendix D. I'm losing the voice. Appendix D.
Yeah.
Do we note the report?
Yeah.
Okay. And 23/19 is to consider And if so resolved, we approve accounts for payments. And are we okay with payments, with a list of payments?
Before you do agree, withdraw the Corby Borough Council payment of the maintenance of the speed signs. I did ask some supplementary questions about that, and I haven't had satisfactory answers. So I'd like to withdraw that one until next time, please.
Right. Okay.
Is that to do with them work?
Okay, over to you, Dan. Anything else? Okay then.
Planning session.
If nobody's got anything else to say,
Planning session.
if nobody's got anything else to say, we would like to close the meeting.